Throughout history, the gag has been used as both a form of torture and punishment, serving to silence individuals, humiliate them, and amplify their physical suffering. While its appearance may seem simplistic, a device to obstruct speech, its use has had profound psychological and physical impacts on those subjected to it. From the medieval period through the 19th century, the gag evolved into a symbol of authority, repression, and control. The gag's earliest recorded use dates back to antiquity. In ancient Greece and Rome, individuals guilty of sedition or excessive talk were sometimes gagged as a means of public punishment. These early forms were often simple ropes or pieces of cloth tied around the mouth, designed to suppress speech. However, the gag soon took on a more insidious role when used to silence political dissenters, captives, or anyone whose voice posed a threat to authority. In medieval Europe, the gag became more widespread, used against heretics, witches, and criminals as part of public humiliation or torture. Silence, in this context, was not only a means of subduing the victim but also a way to prevent them from spreading unwanted beliefs or defending themselves during accusations. Types of gags. As the use of gags evolved, so did their design and purpose. Several variations emerged, each tailored for specific punishments or tortures. Scold's bridle, also known as the branx, this metal mask or cage was placed over the head and contained a metal plate that pressed down on the tongue. Used primarily on women accused of gossiping or nagging, the bridle not only silenced the victim but also subjected them to public ridicule. It often included bells or spikes to further shame the wearer. Ball gag. While the ball gag became more infamous in modern representations of control, its roots in punishment are notable. The device, typically a hard ball forced into the mouth and strapped around the head, was used to silence prisoners or captives. The gag suppressed the voice but also induced discomfort by forcing the mouth open for prolonged periods. Bit gag. Resembling the bit used for horses, this gag forced the victim's mouth open and was often used on slaves or prisoners during transportation. It allowed their captors to maintain control and prevent them from communicating with others, often paired with chains or shackles. Gags were employed to suppress more than just criminals, they became tools of political repression. During the Inquisition, individuals accused of heresy were sometimes gagged to prevent them from uttering blasphemies or defending themselves while on trial. The act of gagging a victim was as much about silencing opposition as it was about asserting dominance over someone viewed as a threat to the established order. In later centuries, especially during the Enlightenment, gags were often used on political prisoners to prevent them from sharing revolutionary ideas or challenging the ruling elite. The gag represented the physical manifestation of censorship and suppression of freedom of speech. One of the most enduring aspects of the gag's history is its psychological toll. The inability to speak, defend oneself, or cry out for help magnifies the feelings of helplessness. Beyond the physical pain and discomfort, the gag amplified the victim's isolation and powerlessness. The symbolism of the gag goes deeper than its functional use. By denying speech, the person's humanity was often stripped away. In many cultures, the ability to communicate is closely tied to identity and autonomy. Forcing silence upon a person through a gag was, in many ways, robbing them of their basic right to self-expression. With the gradual decline of physical punishment in the 19th century, the gag fell out of common use as a tool for state-sanctioned punishment. However, it has not disappeared entirely. Some forms of gagging persisted in various prisons or detention facilities, especially during times of war or political unrest, to keep prisoners from rallying others or communicating escape plans. The gag also retains its place in certain forms of modern-day torture and mistreatment, notably in cases of kidnapping, unlawful detention, or human trafficking. Additionally, it has appeared in fictional works, often used as a symbol of oppression or power dynamics.